Hi, I'm Sheila. I'm going to take anatomy and physiology. In that, we are going to discuss with the first unit anatomical terms. Anatomical terms, in that first we'll see what is anatomy and physiology. Anatomy, the study of structure of different parts of an organism or a human body. So here anatomy means we are going to study the structure of the different parts. It may be an organism or a human body. So for we call that as anatomy. It is a study of structure. So this anatomy word is been derived from the Greek word called anatomos. Ana plus tomos. Ana means up, tomos means cutting. So here you are going to cut, up cutting from the body part. You are going to, by the upside down, you are going to cut the organism, and then you are going to study how the structure is made up of, how it looks like. So that is called as anatomy. Anatomy means it is a study of structure of different parts of an organism or human body. Physiology. Physiology means it is a study of function, the function of the body or the working of different body parts in supporting life is called physiology. Physiology means it is you are going to study how that particular part of the body is working in supporting the life to that organism. It may be an organism or a human body. For supporting that organism or a human body, how that particular structure functions. That is called as physiology. So anatomy means study of structure and physiology means it is study of function of the body. Anatomy means study of structure of the body and physiology is study of function of the body. In this anatomy and physiology, we have some other terms also related to anatomy, that is dissection. Dissection means the process of cutting the human body to understand the anatomy or structure is called dissection. See here in the anatomy, I said it is a structure of, you are going to study the structure. So to study the structure, we need to cut the organism. That process, the cutting process is called dissection. See, the process of cutting the human body to understand the anatomy is called dissection. Next, gross anatomy. Gross. It's a gross means it is a study of body parts visible to the naked eye. To your eye, whatever it is visible, what you are going to see, and if you are studying that parts is called as gross anatomy. Without help of a microscope, whatever you see through your eyes and if you study, that anatomy is called gross anatomy. Gross anatomy, it is a study of body parts which is visible to naked eye. Next, developmental anatomy. Developmental, how it develops. The word itself tells developmental. That is, it deals with the study of growth and development from the fertilized egg to the adult form. So, how the human being developed from a single egg. From a single egg, how the person is developed into adult form. That study is called as developmental anatomy. Next, systemic anatomy. Systemic anatomy, which is it is concerned with the study of body by systems. That is, you are going to study the anatomy by each system wise: skeletal system, respiratory system, muscular system. So each system wise, if you are studying, that is called as systemic anatomy. Surface anatomy. Surface anatomy, it is the identification of anatomical landmarks by observation or palpation. By observation or palpation. So by observing the things and by palpating the person, you are going to study. See, if you palpate a pulse, you are going to study how the circulatory system is working, that is how the blood is pumping, whether it is normal or abnormal. So by palpation you study it. That is called as surface anatomy. See, surface anatomy, it is the identification of anatomical landmarks by observation or palpation. So next, regional anatomy. It is a study of specific regions of the body like head and neck, thorax and abdomen. So here you are going to study a human body in a part by part, that is, which is related to head, related to thorax, related to abdomen, related to extremities. So each part of a body you study. That kind of study we call it as regional anatomy. Radiographic anatomy. It deals with the structure that can be seen by using different radiographic methods. So, like X-ray. That is, by seeing an X-ray, you study how that structure is made up, how the structure looks, whether it is normal or abnormal, or what is the difference, everything. So that kind of study is called radiographic anatomy. Next, pathological anatomy. It is a study of structural changes in diseased body parts. So, when a person is having a disease, so what all the changes takes place in the body parts, the structure, how it changes, how it develops. So that kind of study is called pathological anatomy. What is the cause for that change? Why it has changed? These all things you are going to study. That is called pathological anatomy. Embryology. Embryology means embryo, baby, a new, which is in the uterus. So you are going to study. It is a study of structure formed in uterus from the fertilized egg. From the egg, the fertilized egg, when the egg has been fertilized in the uterus, how the egg changes, how the structure develops, that you are going to study. That is called as embryology. It is a study of structure formed in the utero from the fertilized egg. Cytology. It is a study of individual cell under the microscope. So particular cell you take out and then you keep it in the microscope and then you study how it is. It may be related to anything, organism or human body. That study is called cytology. Histology. It is a study of microscopic structure of tissue. So particular tissue, a group of cells are called tissues. So in the cell tissues, if you are studying under a microscope, that is called as histology. So these are the terms which are common. So next we are going to see the terms which are related in position, terms related to planes, terms related to movements. So the terms which are related to position, to the human body, planes to the human body, and in movements. So all these three cited, we are going to see what all the terms. So first we'll see terms which is related to position. Anatomical position. So to study an anatomy of any structure, we need a position. So that is, it is a posture that the individual to assume to describe various body parts of the body in the upright position. So you make a person in an upright position. It's just an assumption that is an anatomical position. See here, anatomical position. See, the body is erect and the feet are together and arms are hanging at the sides and palm is facing forward. So this position is called upright position or anatomical position. So to study a human body, first you have to assume that this position, and then you are going to study each and every body parts related to this. Next, in that prone position, supine position. Prone position, it is a position where the subject is lying with face down. Supine position, it is a position where the subject is lying with face up. If you see here, a person is lying down, the face is upwards, means supine position. A person is lying down, the face is downwards, it is prone position. Supine, prone. Supine means the face upwards, prone, the face downwards. So supine position, prone position. Now we are going to see some of the other terms which are related to position, but it is used in description of the body parts. When you are studying the body parts, we use these terms for describing it. First, medial. Medial means it is near to the midline. Lateral, it is away from the midline. Anterior, or it is called ventral, it is nearer to the front of the body. Posterior or dorsal, it is closer to the back of the body. Superior, it is towards the head or upper part. Inferior, it is away from the head or lower part of the structure. Proximal, it is near to the attachment of the limb to the trunk. Distal, it is away to the attachment of the limb to the trunk. So we have here medial, lateral, anterior, posterior, superior, inferior, proximal, distal. Medial, near to midline. Lateral, away from the midline. Anterior, near to the front of the body. Posterior, closer to the back of the body. Superior, towards the head or upper part. Inferior, away from the head or lower part. Proximal, near to attachment of the limb. Distal, away to attachment of the limb. See here, medial, middle, near to the midline. Lateral, away from the midline. Anterior, front, or it is called as ventral. Posterior means back, or it is called dorsal. It is near to the front of the body. It is near to the or closer to the back of the body. Anterior, posterior. Superior, it is towards the head or upper part. Inferior, towards the away from the head or towards the feet, or it is called inferior or lower part. Proximal, this is the joint away from the attachment, proximal, and near to the attachment, distal. Medial, lateral, anterior, posterior, superior, inferior, proximal, distal. Next, superficial. It is towards or on the surface of the body. Deep. It is away from the surface of the body. Ipsilateral. It is the same side of the body. Contralateral. It is opposite side of the body. Palmar. Pertaining to the palm, the grasping side. Plantar. It is related to the sole of the foot. So we have here superficial, deep, ipsilateral, contralateral, palmar, plantar. Superficial means it is towards or it is on the surface of the body, which you can see superficially above the surface of the body. Deep means it is away from the surface or inside the body it is deep. Ipsilateral, the same side of the body we call ipsilateral. Opposite side of the body we call it as contralateral. Palmar, it is pertaining to the palm. Plantar, it is related to the sole of the foot. So we have here according to directions medial, lateral, proximal, distal, superior, inferior, okay, superficial, deep. Now we are going to see the terms which are related to body planes, anatomical body planes. Anatomical planes can be used to describe any body part or an entire body. It may be a one body part or complete entire body. So we tell it in a plane wise. So we have median or mid-sagittal plane. Sagittal plane that divides the body into equal right and left region. So it divides the body. It's just an imaginary to tell the body parts. So here it is median plane or it is mid-sagittal plane means which divides the body into two equal parts, right and left region. Frontal plane or coronal plane, it's also an imaginary vertical plane which runs through the center of your body from side to side. It is side to side, means that the body divides the body into, sorry, this plane divides the body into front and back, anterior and posterior, side to side it is. Transverse plane, it's a horizontal plane. It's an imaginary horizontal plane that runs through the midsection of your body. This plane divides the body into upper, superior and lower inferior region. So we have three planes: median or mid-sagittal plane, frontal or coronal plane, transverse plane. See, median and frontal plane are vertical planes. Transverse plane is a horizontal plane. Median plane divides the body into two equal parts, right and left region. Frontal plane or coronal, it divides the body side to side, anterior and posterior, or front and back. Transverse plane, horizontal, upper and lower, superior and inferior. See here, median plane, which divides the body into right and left. Frontal, sidewise, which divides the body front and back. Transverse, which divides the body upper and lower. It's a horizontal plane. Median, frontal and transverse. Median is also called mid-sagittal plane. Frontal is also called coronal plane and transverse plane. Median is a vertical plane. Frontal is a vertical plane. Transverse is a horizontal plane. Now we are going to see the terms which are related to movements. First, so to where the movement occurs? In the joint. Joint means it is a site where two or more bones come together. In a joint, there are shoulder joint which is freely movable, and some joints, that is joint between upper part of tibia and fibula, has limited movement. Sutures of the skulls are joints without movement. So here in the joint, some are freely movable, easily in all the directions. Some joints have limited movement, it only moves in little directions. In some joints, there is no movement at all. So depending upon the joints, the movements occur. Okay. So first movement, flexion. It is a movement in the vertical plane. In a flexion of an elbow joint, the anterior surface of the forearm move towards the anterior surface of the arm. Extension, it is a movement in the posterior direction. It results in straightening of the joint. Flexion, extension. See here, flexion, extension. So here are going to, in this is the arm, this is upper arm and this is the lower arm. When you are moving the arm, you are moving, when you flexion, you take this arm towards the upper arm. The surface of this lower arm move towards the surface of the upper arm. That is flexion. Extension is you are bringing back the same lower arm back to its position. That is, you straighten the arm. That is called as extension. Flexion, extension. See, in the same in lower limbs, you move the limbs towards in anterior direction. That is flexion. Again, you bring back and go towards the posterior. That is extension. So this is the anterior part and this is the posterior part. You move the legs towards the anterior part, flexion, and when you move the limbs towards the posterior part, it is extension. In the wrist joint also, when you move towards your body, that is flexion, away from the body, extension. Flexion, extension. See here, this is the body part. When you move towards your body, flexion, away the body, extension. Flexion, extension. Same with the limbs. When you are moving towards, it is flexion, away it is extension. Flexion, extension. Next, abduction. It is the movement of the limb away from the midline of the body. Adduction, it is the movement of the limb towards the body. Ab means away. Ad means towards. Ab, away. Ad, it is towards. Abduction, movement of the limb away from the midline of the body. Your midline is the center part. If you are moving the parts away from the midline, it is called abduction. If you are moving the limbs towards the body, it is called adduction. Abduction, adduction. Medial rotation, it is the movement in which anterior surface of the parts move medially. Medially means towards the midline. Lateral it is the movement in which anterior surface of the body moves laterally, that is away from the midline. That is called lateral rotation. Circumduction, it is the movement of the body in circular manner. You move the body in all the directions. That is, which is involved in one end of the body region is completely moved. That is, it involves sequential combination of flexion, adduction, extension and abduction. Pronation, it is the medial rotation of the forearm. In this type of movement, palm faces posteriorly. Supination, lateral rotation of the forearm. Here the palm of the hand faces anteriorly. So we have here abduction, adduction, medial rotation, lateral rotation, circumduction, pronation, supination. See here, abduction, adduction. So you move the limbs away from the body, that is abduction. Towards the body, adduction. Away from the body, abduction. Towards the body, it is adduction. Okay, flexion, anterior side if you are moving the head, flexion. Posterior side if you are moving, it is extension. Medial rotation if you are moving the arm towards the body line, midline, that is medial rotation. Away from the midline, it is lateral rotation. Towards the midline, medial rotation. Away from the midline, lateral rotation. Circumduction, so it is in all the direction. It is a circular manner where flexion, adduction, in extension, abduction. In a circular manner, it moves sequentially flexion, extension, adduction and abduction. Supination, pronation. Supination is where the palm is facing anteriorly. Pronation is the palm is facing posteriorly. So this is anteriorly when the palm is facing supination. When the palm is facing posteriorly, it is pronation. Supination, pronation. Medial rotation means towards the midline. Lateral rotation is away from the midline. Medial, lateral, supination, pronation. So next, opposition. It is the movement of thumb across the palm to touch the fingertips. So each and every fingertips, if you are touching with the thumb, when the thumb crosses each and every fingertips, it is called opposition. Elevation, it is the upward movement of the part of the body. Depression, downward movement of a part of the body. Protraction, it is the forward movement of the part of the body, upper or lower. Retraction, it is the backward movement of the part of the body, upper or lower. See here, opposition, when you are touching the fingertips, when the thumb crosses all the fingertips, that is opposition. When it comes back, reposition. When it comes back to its position, it's called reposition. When the movement of the thumb which touches all the fingertips, it is called opposition. In the thumb also, in the hand also, we have flexion, extension, adduction, abduction. Abduction means away from the joint. Adduction towards the joint. Extension is straightening of the others. Flexion is bending towards the body parts. Opposition, the touching all the fingertips. Reposition is coming back to its position. Elevation, depression. Elevation is upward movement. When you move the joint upside, that is superiorly, that is elevation. Depression, moving the joint downward. Downward movement, depression. Upward movement, elevation. downward movement, depression. Protraction, retraction, moving the joint forward movement, protraction, backward movement, retraction. Forward movement, protraction, backward movement, retraction. When you move the joint upwards, it is elevation, downwards, it is depression, forward movement, protraction, backward movement, retraction. Inversion, it is the movement of the foot where the sole of the foot turns medial. So when you turn the sole of the foot towards the midline of the body, we call it as inversion. Eversion, it is the movement of the foot where the sole of the foot turns lateral, that is away from the midline. If you are moving, it is eversion. Dorsiflexion, it is bending of the foot at ankle joint towards the superior surface. Plantar flexion, it is bending of the foot at ankle joint in the direction of inferior surface. We have here inversion, eversion, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. Inversion, it is the movement of the body where the sole of the foot turns medial. It is all this movements are related to foot. Inversion, eversion, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. It is related to foot. In the movement of the foot, where the sole of the foot, if you turn the sole of the foot medially, that is towards the midline, it is called inversion. If you are turning the sole of the foot laterally, that is away from the midline, it is called eversion. When you bend the foot at the ankle joint upward or towards the superior surface, that is towards the head, if you are bending the foot, if you are moving the foot towards the head upper side, that is dorsiflexion. If you are bending the foot at ankle joint in the direction toward downwards, it is towards downwards, that is inferior surface, that is called plantar flexion. See here, this is the foot. When you move upwards, that is dorsiflexion. When you move downwards, it is plantar flexion. Upward movement, that is superior surface, dorsiflexion. Inferior surface, plantar flexion. Abduction, adduction. See, adduction is towards the body, abduction is away from the body. Flexion, extension. Inversion and eversion is moving the foot medially and laterally. So these all are the terms which are related to the movements.